And I'm now delighted to call on Yoni to present the case for prop.
When do we ban something? When we see there's inherent damage to it, but there's no inherent need for it or an inherent benefit for it. And in that way, the two oppositions today have been off clash. The first opposition told us at length that religion has its upsides. We completely agree. What we didn't hear is a really deep analysis of why missionary is needed in order for people to reach that religion, and especially in the Holy Land where it is everywhere. Then came the second opposition and told us that it's okay and it should be okay in a democracy to share ideas. Guess what? We're all okay with sharing ideas. We're okay with conversations, and we're okay with people on their own initiative going out and seeking religious consult. We're not okay with religious organizations actively approaching those people, which is the definition of missionarism, or however you say it in English. Sharing ideas and being a missionary, not the same thing. And that entire extension was about something that is not the motion for debate here today. So let's ask ourselves three questions, or rather four. One, what are the alleged upsides for missionary work? Not for religion, for missionary work that we got from opposition today. Then we will ask, what is the difference between missionary and going after it yourself, or having a conversation? Thirdly, what's the difference between religion and the Republican Party, or advertising, or anything else? And fourthly, why the emphasis of this debate should really be on Israel, because the situation here is different from every other country. So what are the upsides that we got from opposition today? A, that if you don't have missionary, you will forever be enslaved in one worldview. Why? A, if you're happy with your worldview, what's wrong with it? B, if you're not happy with your worldview, you are very likely to go seek another worldview, and you don't need anyone actively suggesting it for you, because you're not happy and you will try to change the situation which makes you unhappy. And thirdly, you are in the Holy Land. All religions are all over this place. You come across them every single day. You cannot wander the streets of this country without being exposed to other world views all the time, in your community, in your school, on the billboard, and mosques and churches and synagogues. You don't need people to actively suggest to you what you may already want, and you can get everywhere. It's just not needed. Molly told us that death is scary and thus religion has its upsides. Yes, because death is scary, we think it's likely for people to go out, find the solutions themselves. Again, no need for people to come to you and tell you that death is scary and so you need to be religious, because you are already scared of death. We've not heard why you need a missionary to save you from that. This proves our point, that you are likely to do it yourself, and missionary work is unneeded. And thirdly, we got that they want to look good in front of potential customers. No, they don't want to look good, they want to look true. They want to look like the one true religion. Extremism and zealousy are very common tools in trying to appear like the one true religion. Because many people believe that as the more you are devoted, the more you are zealous, the more you're willing to sacrifice for your religion, that really entails some merit into that religion. Many religions try to convince with zealousy and extremism, and not without it. They want to look true, not good, not the same thing. Go.
You don't have a problem with people who believe in something and have faith in an issue, and how they
That
decide to
is an
spread this.
absolute lie. We have no problem with that. We have no problem with you going to pursue a faith yourself. We have a problem with people actually suggesting it to you, and this leads me to my next question. What is the difference? The difference is this. Why do we ban cults in almost all nations? Because we recognize this mechanism that Michael deeply analyzed is somewhat able to undermine rational thought. That's why it's banned, because that enveloping you with friendship, and luring you in with a bait, and then providing a supporting environment, and then bringing on some absolute truth on you. We recognize in all democracies of the world that this mechanism somehow has its way to topple the human rational thought, and it is able to separate between you and between your previous world, and not in an irrational way. That's why we have so many support centers for cult victims. Now, we say this is the difference. Because when you try to pursue it yourself, you're acting with self-doubt. Because you're not sure what's the right answer, you're not sure what's going on, and you are very wary. And when you're not subjecting yourself, no, thank you. When you're not entering this mechanism, this specific, unique mechanism that has its merit of causing you irrational thought, then you are a lot less likely to act in the way that they want you to act. I know a lot of people that are becoming more religious, and they do it gradually. They do it questioning themselves every step of the way. They do it not accepting everything and seeking all sides. This is not the case with missionary mechanism, and here's your difference. Opposition never dealt with it. This is the difference between having a conversation, going to ask a rabbi or a priest, or being subjected to a missionary mechanism. No, thank you. Now, why do we say that there's a now? And when we answer that, when Michael asked Greg, I'm sorry, when Greg said that's the way all organizations work. For instance, the Republican Party, we say this: religion, it might be a way that other organizations want to work. But we recognize that cult mechanism and organization behavior is not always the same. But even where it is, religion is separate than politics, and it's separate than advertising, and it's separate from anything else. Why? Because it has a massive potential harm, because no one will go blow himself up or blowing up the Dome of the Rock for the Republican Party or for Tampa. People who accept religion are by definition accepting something irrational. When you're accepting a political view, you are not likely to pursue an irrational path because politics, that's not the nature of politics. When you're accepting religion, you are by definition accepting something that is irrational, and by definition you are more likely to pursue an irrational path. And the potential damage and the irrationality, the inherent irrationality is different. And then we go on to the question, why it is especially important here? Because here, you don't need missionary work in order to be exposed to other beliefs, but B, there is massive potential harm. Because if you are born again in Ohio, then you don't really have the potential to destroy the world and start a third world war. But if you are born again in Israel, then all it takes is one idiot and one head of a pig in order to start the third world war. And we say this is a massive potential harm. Now, do the equation. We don't really need it because it's everywhere and you're free to pursue it. And it can do massive potential harm. The equation is very much on side of proposition. Thank you.